Putting your hands together, shoulders even, body relaxed, head bowed in reverence. अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। मन्नाथ श्री जगन्नाथः मद्गुरु श्री जगद्गुरु मदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अखिल जगन्मातो मा तमसा तापेन च आकुलानस्मान् अनुगृह्णात् अनुकम्पात् सुधार्द्रया हसितचन्द्रिकया। All glories to the Divine Mother. All glories to my Master. As a child is growing up, the child is taught, that is fire, don't touch the fire. This is an electrical socket, don't touch it. The child is taught from the very beginning the various things of the worldly life. And the child, because of practice, constant practice, has picked up these things. I shouldn't touch this, I can play with this, I can touch with this. All these learnings has come because it has been brought into the child's perception from the conditioning, from the society or the parents. There were times, like when Rishi Markandeya was present, those were the times when the perception was much more astute. The parents themselves were great devotees who were perceiving the presence of the divine in their lives. And because their perception was so high, so astute, they were able to offer this perception to their children. So the children also, from the very beginning, grew up working on strengthening this perception of perceiving the presence of the divine everywhere in their lives as blessings, as grace. As times kept changing, this perception started going far away from humans, and they got more into perceiving the external world. Now the case is, the entire perception of a human being is of the external world. The perception of that subtle reality that's present within us that actually shines the external world is lost. And because of this heavy learning of the external world is present, the entire spiritual path is unlearning the perception of the external world and making our perception acute enough to perceive the reality that's within us, present as a simple reality, not complicated, because the external world is complicated. You do this, you don't do this, you don't do this, you say this, you don't say this. In front of these people, you act like that. In front of these people, you act this way. But the reality, which I call the Divine Mother, is very simple. She sees it all. She makes it possible for us to see the external world. She sees it all. So this training of perceiving the presence of the Divine Mother, it takes time. It takes constant effort. And it begins with faith. Faith in the Vedas, faith in the Shastras. Now, in this day and age, none of us are going to invest any part of our day into reading the Vedas or the Shastras. So, what is the authority for us? The authority in this day and age is Guru Vakya. When the Master says the Divine Mother is real, she exists, those words are coming from the depths of the truth. And they will land. If you have faith in the Guru, they will land within you as seeds. And from that seed will grow this astute, acute perception of the presence of the Divine Mother within. It starts with faith. That Mother is real. All these rishis who have seen the Mother and who have written stotras and stutis, they were all realized masters. They have seen the Mother. They are in constant communion with the Mother. Ramakrishna Paramahans, who the entire gospel is how he relates to the Divine Mother. Mother is real. And our Swami has given this extremely bold statement. Mother is real. Mother does exist. So to someone who has great faith in the Master, because it all begins from faith. When you hear the Master's words and you take those words as seeds, and then to that seed of faith, you start watering. And then you start really experiencing, perceiving her presence as someone who's constantly listening, as a constant companion. Initially, it's a constant companion. In the gospel I was reading, the gospel of Ramakrishna, Thakur says that when Hanumanji was asked by Sri Ram, "Who are you? How do you perceive me?" Hanumanji said, "As an embodied soul, I perceive myself as the body, as the embodied soul, I perceive myself as thy servant. I am your servant. I am just doing your work in this creation. As the Jivatma, I consider myself as a part of you, as a part of Paramatma, the space within the pot and the space outside. The pot, as soon as it breaks, the space and that are the same, but the pot need not break. So when I identify myself as the Jivatma, I consider myself as a part of you. And when I consider myself, when I identify myself with my Atma, you and I are one." Because our level of perception also keeps changing throughout the day. Sometimes we identify ourselves with the body. Sometimes we identify ourselves with the mind. Sometimes we identify ourselves with that unchanging reality, the Atman, the soul within us. So Ramakrishna Dev, Thakurji, he gives these various things. He said, if you find yourself identifying with your body, consider yourself as her servant, serving her creation, doing her work in the creation. When you consider yourself as the mind, let the mind have only the thoughts of the Divine Mother, thoughts of her beauty, thoughts of her grace, thoughts of her blessings. And when you consider, when you identify yourself as the Atman, I and the Mother are one. I and the Mother are one. Approaching the Divine Mother has to be with this simplicity. With the identification with the body, because of the identification with the body, we feel, I'm a 40-year-old woman. I'm already a mother of a child. Hence, I cannot see myself as a child of the Divine Mother. That's because of the identification with the body. This unlearning needs to start. If you need to perceive the Divine Mother as your mother, you need to become her child. You need to think of yourself as a child of the Mother. When I say think of yourself, doesn't mean you think of yourself as a little baby. This bhav that I am this body of so and so age needs to be slowly ignored. And this identification that I am a child of the Divine Mother needs to be strengthened. Yesterday I was talking to someone and they made a very good point. To connect with the Divine Mother, you have to disconnect from the rest of the world. Disconnect doesn't mean you stop talking to people, you stop interacting. It just means as much as is needed. As much as is needed. If you're part of a family, you lovingly engage with your family, lovingly. But you also connect with the Divine Mother. At any point of time, if let's say there are 50 people in your life, 40 of them will be unnecessary. You have to cut those 40 out, as much as is needed. The rest 10, you have to see the Mother in them and engage willfully. Those 10 are your close, immediate family members, the staff you work with, your close friends. Keep your circle close so you can give that undivided attention and love to them. If you make your circle too big, you will be stretching yourself out too thin. So, to connect with the Mother, close that circle. Bring that circle closer and closer to as much as is needed, as much as is absolutely needed. And then willfully engage with that close circle. Willfully engage with that close circle, perceiving the Divine Mother's presence in them. And then you're more connected. Simplicity is the one key word in connecting with the Divine Mother. Simplicity in the way you live, simplicity in the way you conduct yourself, simplicity in the way you perceive her. If you think you have to do some yogic sadhana to even connect to her, it's already not happening. Because Mother's connection is the most simple. It's already present. You just have to realize that. The pot, we were talking about the clay pot. The clay pot, the space in the clay pot and the space outside the clay pot is the same. But the clay pot doesn't need to break itself to realize that the space is the same. It just needs to have a very simple, short, sweet realization, hey, the space in me is the same as the space outside. So Mother's presence is also that simple presence. Mother is there with me. Mother is watching me. Mother is taking care. Now, as we go through the day, many thoughts come about on the sky of our mind. Many thoughts. If you pay attention to those thoughts, you will see if they are too much of people, you have to simplify your circle. If it's too much of worries, let's go back to people. If the mind sky is full of people, their conversations, their thoughts, their opinions, then it's going to be very hard for the mind to detach from those and turn inwards, because the nature of the mind is outward. So you have to take that social conversation out of the picture to connect deeply within. Because when the mind looks around and it doesn't find anything, any conversation, any people to attach to, it can very easily be turned inward. But if you're turning outward and it's full of people, their conversations, their thoughts, then the mind says, no, I don't want to turn around. So make it turn around by taking away the food from outside. Keep it simple. Keep it very, very simple. The next thing is the thoughts of worries. You see, if you truly start practicing this childlike connection with the Mother, you will refuse to worry. Because when the Mother of the universe, when you have accepted the Mother of the universe as your mother, as your own mother, then can there be any room for worries? But if there are room for worries, then you have assumed yourself to be that 40 or 50-year-old woman or man. Then you think, I am so and so years old, I know how to take care of things, I'll take care of them. But someone like, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, so childlike. When a yogi like Totapuri came and said, sit down, I'll give you Advait Sadhana. He said, let me ask my mother and come. And he didn't at that point say, let me just close my eyes, ask the Divine Mother within me, let's see what comes out as intuition. None of that, none of those complicated things. He ran to the temple. He ran to the temple and he went with folded hands. He said, Mother, this guy wants to teach me Advait Sadhana. Should I do this? And when he heard the mother say, yes, do it, he came running back. He said, yes, my mother agrees. That childlike simplicity, that ultimate dependence on the Divine Mother for everything. So if you have things you're worried about, note them down. One at a time, tell the mother, Mother, my mind is really worried about this thing. Can you please not take care of this? Offer it. Offer it to the mother. I don't know whether I should act on this or not. My mind says if I act on this, this will happen. If I don't act on this, this will happen. Guide me. Guide me because I'm your child. I really don't know which way to go. You guide me. If you depend on her with that sincerity, she will have to take care of you. Because as you see, as the child grows, as the child becomes more independent, the mother lets him be. One day the child is like a full-grown person, full-grown man or a woman, and the mother says, now you got it. But if the mother has 3 or 4 kids and one kid is constantly attached to the mother, she's always more worried about that child. I wonder how he's going to do. I know the other 3 are okay, but I don't know how this child is going to do. I must call him. I must check on him. So we have to depend on the mother like that. So if you're worrying, which means you have already assumed the responsibility of taking care of that thing. You've already assumed the responsibility of an adult and you want to take care of things yourself. You can only take care so much. Eventually you get tired. Mother has given this creation as her playfield. She wants all of us to enjoy in her creation, being absolutely free. Free and worry-free, fear-free, she wants us to enjoy. She's like, it's my creation. Jagat Pita Parmeshwar and Jagan Mata are here. They say, I want my children to play. But the children are refusing to play. They want to worry. They want to excessively think and plan about their future. Mother says, how am I to take care of you? If you decide that you want to take care of things, then I cannot interfere because I have given everyone the free will. So examine your thoughts. Examine what kind of thoughts you have. If you're not able to connect to the mother as her child, it's because you're identifying yourself with the body, the adult. Identify yourself as the child of the mother. I once had a dream of Swami. And I don't believe in sharing dreams or experiences, but because it is relevant to this matter, I'm sharing this. So in the dream I saw Swami, and Swami was sucking his thumb. Full-grown man. He was sucking his thumb. And he said to me, Anu, this is how you approach the Divine Mother. And that was the end of the dream. A full-grown man, because we are identifying Swami as the 40-year-old man. But he himself sees himself as the child of the mother. He plays in the lap of the mother. We have all these conditioned views of what a lap is supposed to be. Lap of the mother, we have all held the child in our lap. We know that's the lap. Isn't this entire world a lap? And that's what the Gujarati Garba is about. Sonal Garbo Shire, Ambe Ma, Chalo Dheere Dheere. That you're holding the entire creation in your womb. I am within you. You are not within me. I am within your womb. Oh, mother, walk slowly, walk gently, because I'm within you. The entire world is rejoicing within you. So, thoughts of worry. The way we will become childlike is by disconnecting from all kinds of thoughts that make us adult. Then we will automatically become childlike. But if we start to try to become childlike, we might end up with another preconceived idea. So drop whatever you are not. You are not this 40 or 50-year-old man or woman. You are not your mind, which is so old, so many lifetimes of memories, of thoughts, of conditioning. You are not that. You are the part of her that's within her all the time, in her womb, dancing in her creation. Thoughts of worry. Identify them and drop them. Identify what are you thinking about constantly. If you are constantly thinking about your career, sit down in front of the mother with full faith that she is listening. Sit down, even if you don't have a vigraha of the mother, sit down and with the firm faith that mother alone is listening. Mother, I have this fear. I have this worry. But today I'm opening up myself to you. You already know. But because I believe that you may not be listening, I have always escaped from this submission to you. I'm submitting this, my worry to you. I'm worried about this. Will you not take care of this? As soon as you offer this worry, after that, do not entertain any thought of that worry, having full faith that now my mother is going to handle it. The mother of the universe, the entire creation is in her hands. Of course, she is going to handle it. And rejoice again. Rejoice. Go back to that garba that's happening within her womb. Go back to rejoicing in that security, in that refuge of the Divine Mother. Excessive thoughts of planning and scheming about the future. Why does the mind plan and scheme? When a child is playing in the house, the mother is in the house, the child is happily playing, the child is not thinking, oh my God, what should I do about my next meal? What should I have? What should I tell my mother to make for me? Will I even have a meal in the afternoon or in the evening? What if a stranger comes in? None of those thoughts bother a child. He plays joyfully in the presence of the mother. What's stopping us? The thing that's stopping us is identification with the aged body, with the aged mind that I am now an adult. Almost all the self-realized people are childlike. You have to watch that movie of Ramakrishna Paramahansa again and see how childlike he was. In the movie, they show how he sees a beggar and the dog scratching for food, scrambling for food, and they get a piece of bread and the beggar tears a piece of bread and he's eating, he's giving it to the dog. The way the dog is eating and the way the beggar is eating is no different. And Ramakrishna Paramahansa is just standing there watching this. And then he says to mother, Mother, don't make me like this ever. Let me always rejoice in your creation. Because that childlike simplicity, who wants to be like a beggar? No one. Truly from within, we don't want to be like the beggar. But the adult in us says, oh, it's okay, I'll submit to mother's will. Because the adult thinks extra. The heart is where the simplicity is. The mind is what brings the complication inside. So he runs to the mother and says, don't make me like this, mother. Let me always rejoice in your creation. And then in one of the other scenarios, someone says, the words that come out of your mouth, you're such a learned man. And then with such childlike simplicity, he says, hey, listen, let me tell you a secret. I'm truly an illiterate person. I really don't know anything. But my mother, she speaks through me. All the words are hers. She is the one who speaks through me. I'm just an illiterate person. He truly feels that way. The more we depend on the mother, the more we will realize the truth of this statement that mother alone puts words, speaks, expresses through us. Mother alone is. So this awareness that is constantly going outward will always be on the sun that resides within, the sun that lights up this world. So approach the mother. So it's like, in the beginning I was saying a child is taught to perceive the external world a certain way. Similarly, this is unlearning that we have to do to perceive the presence of the Divine Mother and to feel childlike, to feel simple. It is a practice, nirantar. We have to do this practice all day, every day, all the time. If you feel like a child of the mother, you cannot worry. You cannot be excessively planning and thinking about what's going to happen. You are truly rejoicing. In one of the poems by Ram Prasad Sen, he says, Mother, I'm going to sue you. He says, I'm going to sue you because my riches, my heritage is thy lotus feet. Your lotus feet are my heritage. And you're not giving them to me. So I'm going to sue you. And guess what? You're going to lose that lawsuit in a moment because I have a deed from my father, which is Lord Shiva. I have a deed from my father that says you are my mother. So you're going to lose badly in this lawsuit. You're going to lose. With what authority? Like the authority with which a child speaks versus the authority with an adult speaks is different. A mother could be the president of America, sitting in the Oval Office, conducting business. As soon as the child comes to meet, all the officials are standing there, but the child comes running into mother's laps. He doesn't consider, oh, this is an Oval Office, I shouldn't sit here. Maybe others will think bad. What will my mother say? None of that. He just throws himself in the arms of the mother and sits with the mother in the seat of the president in the Oval Office. Such is the authority of a child. An adult says, oh, my mother is busy. Let me wait outside. He thinks too much. Maybe I shouldn't go see my mother. She might be busy now. Oh, she's the president now. Maybe I cannot approach her. A child doesn't think any of that. Child goes running and throws himself in the arms of the mother. Excessive use of the mind disconnects us from the mother. The heart says, Mother, you're mine. You're my mother. What do I have to worry? I'm going to walk fearlessly in this world. I'm going to conduct my business fearlessly in this world, knowing that you're always going to protect me, that I'm in your refuge, nothing can touch me. And that's the crux of Chandrasekhar Ashtakam, right? That's the... See, Markandeya Rishi also perceived Lord Shiva because both father and mother, Mrikandu Rishi and his wife, they were both great devotees of Lord Shiva. To have Markandeya as their son, they did tapas. They did not sit and think what should we do. They instantly went to tapas. And from the very beginning, they taught Markandeya, there is nothing that Lord Shiva cannot give. So when the time came, he was 16 years old on his 16th birthday. When the time came that he had to leave this world, he said to his father and mother, why do you worry? The one thing that you have taught me from the very beginning is there is nothing Lord Shiva cannot give. I will also seek his refuge. And that's what he did. He sat by the banks of that river, made a shivling, and he just sat in upasana. He sat there in the refuge of Lord Shiva. When Yam came and put the pash around him, he hugged Lord Shiva. He hugged the shivling so tight. Now the pash was over Markandeya and the shivling. As soon as that happened, Lord Shiva appeared. And with his left leg, he kicked the chest of Yama, signifying mother's protection. And with the right arm, he hugged Markandeya to say that anyone attacking the child of the mother first comes to rescue, and then the father accepts. Do we have that kind of conviction? Maybe we were never taught to perceive the presence of the Divine Mother this way. But it's about time we start perceiving her presence. If you pray, Mother, reveal your presence, reveal your presence, reveal your presence. If you beg, cry, she has to. She's not going to listen to one-off request. Oh, reveal your presence. Oh, by the way, I'm doing other things. By the way, reveal your presence. It doesn't work. This is a constant battle you have to do with the mother. She's closer than closest. You have to prove to her that you truly want to know her presence. You truly want to feel her presence, and she will reveal. We want to worry, we want to excessively think, we want to excessively plan, and then, by the way, Mother, can you reveal your presence, please? No, it doesn't happen. Like we were talking about Draupadi's case, right? When Dushasan started pulling her clothes, with one hand she was holding her cloth. The clothing was held by one hand, and the other hand she raised in the air saying, Krishna, Krishna. No Krishna came. Because you want to hold on to your worries, you want to hold on to your plans, you want to hold on to your schemes, you want to hold on to your blueprints. Krishna is not going to come. Dhira dhira samarchita. Do you have the courage to let go? Draupadi had the courage to let go. In that sabha of all men, she had the courage to let go and call out to Krishna. Do you have the courage to let go of your worries, of your planning, of your scheming, of your blueprint, of whatever you know? Put it in quotes. You know. Whatever you think I know, do you have the courage to let go? If you show the mother that you have the courage to let go and you are letting go of everything you know, moral, immoral, good, bad, right, wrong, healthy, unhealthy, if you let go of these ideas, that's the only way you will prove to the mother, now I'm ready for you to reveal your presence to me. Why should she reveal her presence to you? If you're going to hold on with one hand you want to hold on to whatever you think is right. It's all the mind that you're holding on to, right? If you hold on to that, mother is going to say, keep holding on, I'll wait for you to let go. The day you let go, the day you say, I refuse to worry, I refuse to be sad, I refuse to plan excessively, I refuse to go into my future and perceive this might happen, that might happen, this might happen, that. The day you are able to have that courage to let go, mother's presence, Udyat Bhanu Sahasrabha, like 1,000 suns rising. Her presence will be overpowering. You won't be able to handle it. Her presence will be so magnanimous. The limited, finite equipment that we have, the mind, you try to perceive the Divine Mother through the mind, it will only be so much because the mind is finite, it's limited. You dissolve the mind in the infinite, the presence is infinite. And it takes courage. It takes courage, which is why mother's name is Dhira. She is the courageous one, and she is only worshipped by the courageous ones. Do you have the courage? Something for you to think about. जीवन का मैंने सौंप दिया सब, भार तुम्हारे हाथों में अब जीत तुम्हारे हाथों में और हार तुम्हारे हाथों में। जीवन का मैंने सौंप दिया सब भार तुम्हारे हाथों में। अब जीत तुम्हारे हाथों में और हार तुम्हारे हाथों में। जीवन का मैंने सौंप दिया। The day we get to that stage, we will truly rejoice in her presence. And then, the first name of Lalita Sahasranam, we will actually experience Shri Mata, my mother, my world. That's Shri Mata. Till then, she will remain as a goddess somewhere out there, calling the shots. So to experience Shri Mata, and it is the most important name of the mother. That's why Lalita Sahasranam starts with Shri Mata. So to experience these words, my mother, my world, bring these changes. Shorten your circle. Make it smaller and smaller to the bare minimum. And the ones in your circle, willfully, joyfully engage with them by recognizing the presence of the Divine Mother within. Listen about the Divine Mother. Think about the Divine Mother. Meditate on the form of the Divine Mother. If her presence is what you want, you have to go after her. Like how Ram Prasad Sen, he says, I'm going to keep tormenting you till you give me my heritage, my inheritance. Your feet are my heritage. How can you take them away? I'm going to sue you. And here I have a deed from my father that your feet belong to me because you're my mother. You're going to lose this lawsuit. So give up, and I will keep tormenting you till you give me back my heritage. This is this divine romance. You keep thinking about your beloved. You keep talking to your beloved. You keep listening for your beloved. You become your beloved. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Any questions? Anyone has any questions? You can type up or you can unmute yourself.
Jai Shri Hari Anu.
Jai Shri Hari Bhavisha.
Again, this is a blessing from Mother that today you have scheduled this satsang. So, yes, there is an issue in my career going on. So, I already submitted my worry to Mother, but then I can see my shortcomings in my office. I try to fix the issue. Whatever duties I was supposed to perform, but outcome didn't come in the way I was expecting, and maybe a pleasant outcome. It went all wrong. So I was just constantly thinking that I'm trying my best to the best of my ability. I'm supposed to, you know, improve my stuff, my technical stuff in the career, but things are still going wrong. I mean, I'm not questioning mother, but then how do I know that things which I am doing, it's his will and it's not coming from my ego or it's not coming from my limited mind. I really want to do the things whatever she thinks is best for me. But how do I identify that it's not my mind playing games and I'm just labeling it that it's mother's will, but actually it's my ego playing game.
Okay, I got you. See, Bhavisha, when I hear your question, right, if you had typed it, I would have, you know what I do, right? All the mindy ones, I do that. But if you listen to your own question one more time, you will see, first of all, it is laden with spiritual jargon. Ego, mind, mother's will. It's already complicated, okay? First thing. Second, remember in the Mind and Divine series, I talk about what is versus what should be, right? If I'm treating a patient, what is versus what should be are different. What should be is what I have learned through textbooks in my school, right? In my dental school, I have learned this is how it should be, this is how it should be done, this is how it should be done. The theory part, okay? If I try to slap on the textbook on my patient, it's never going to match. I don't want to say never. It may sometimes match, it may sometimes not match. A procedure that I did it so perfectly, the patient is still having pain. The patient keeps coming back, no doc, I still have pain, I still have pain. I'm thinking, everything I did is so perfect from top to bottom. Why is the patient still having pain? It is what it is. Then I have to think, previously I used to beat myself up, oh my God, I'm just such a bad clinician. I can't do things right. I should go back and look at textbooks. What do they think? I should talk to other people. What are they doing? Why am I having these cases? What's going on? What's going on? Constantly living in fear. Oh my God, I did this treatment. I wonder how it's going to be. I wonder how the patient is going to be. Is she going to call me at night? I have lived that life. Now, I do at that moment whatever best I know. Remember, recently Swamiji had this discussion on what is dharma. Right? People said many different things. But truly, when Lord Krishna explained dharma to Arjun, he said, I'm telling you, fight, you fight. What does that mean? The divine will is expressing from within. You just express. Your job is not to bring in your own mind to say, oh, that's my grandpa, that's my teacher, that's my this. Don't judge all that. Arjun, I'm telling you, go fight, you fight. That's called expressing divine will. Okay. Now, expressing divine will, when do you know it's ego? When do you know it's mind? These are all intuitive matters. No one can tell you, oh, Bhavisha, this is your mind. This is what mother wants. Mother really wants you to submit those things by then. I cannot tell you that. That is intuition. And how does intuition grow? By removing the garbage. So the mind, right? You are already saying, oh, I don't know if I'm doing good work, or if that's what, these are all labels. You go to work, you have certain skill set, which is why they hired you to perform that job. You go, you use your skill set at that moment, try to be as calm as you can, because when you are calm, Swami Chinmayananda, he used to say this one thing. He said this to a group of medical students. He said, the knowledge that you learn in the medical school has to come to your fingertips with a calm mind. Most important thing he said is with a calm mind. Because if the mind is agitated, it's thinking 1,000 things, then the knowledge that you have, the skill set you have, which you have been hired for, is not going to express. Because the mind is just going in haywire. Which is why Mind and Divine is the foundation. You have to keep yourself empty. You have to learn how to empty your mind, center yourself. When your mind is calm, the skill set that you have learned, which is why you have been hired for that job, will come to your fingertips through a calm mind. Then you are able to perform. And after you perform however best you could perform, you should learn to step back and be like, I did my best. Your best, your mind's best, and the situational best, existential reality versus psychological reality, are two different things. You putting your best through the given skill set you have through a calm mind is best. That's the existential reality. Now your psychological reality will start saying, oh, but you know what, I could have done this better, I didn't do this, I wonder what he's going to think. The other person did it much better than me. The other person is not you. The other person's skill set is not yours. So at any point of time, just train yourself to keep your mind empty. When your mind is empty, when your mind is not constantly judging, I did something wrong, this is bad, this is low performance, I could have performed better, this, that, then you're already undermining yourself. The divine will has already expressed through you. The divine will has already expressed because your mind was calm. So the skill set has flowed through your fingertips into your work. Expression of the divine has already been done. But what are you doing? You're doing what Arjun did. Oh, but he's my grandpa, he's my this, he's my that. How can I do this? All the women will go become widows and then they will get married. He went and projected the entire future. Lord Krishna, who is Trikaldarshi, is telling him, the divine is telling him, I am guiding your chariot, just keep working. So that's all your job is, Bhavisha. Whenever you start thinking about the spiritual jargon, be very careful with the spiritual jargon. This is my ego, this is my alter ego, this is my false self, this is my true self, this is my fakeness, this is my trueness. All this creates division. There is only one truth. If you say there is truth and then there is ego, then there is already two. In that, एक मयान में दो तलवारें नहीं जा सकती. Similarly, in this world there is only one truth. You perceive it as good, bad, moral, immoral, right, wrong, hot, cold, dualities. You perceive it, sometimes you call it ego. The ego also, aham brahmasmi. The aham itself is Brahma. So, my only suggestion, because I have gone your path, I was so good with spiritual jargon. This is ego, this is antakarn, this is chitta, this is none of that. If you want to be simple, let go of all of that spiritual. Whenever you find your mind going into the spiritual jargon, drop it. It's not going to lead you anywhere. It is Mother's Maya. She says, oh, you want spiritual jargon? Here, I'll give you some more. You will attract it. Because Mother's heart is such that she gives you whatever you're dwelling on. If you're dwelling on, I want to understand what ego is. I want to understand what antakarn is. What does chitta do? What are impressions? She will bring you to sites, to websites, to books, to articles, to lectures, explaining ego, this, that. And because she wants you to be happy. And then you feel a certain amount of intellectual happiness. Oh, now I understand what ego is. And as Swami says, the moment you say, I understand, that's Maya. If you want to understand Maya, anything you say, I know, that's Maya. Ramakrishna Paramahans says, I don't know anything. I'm actually an illiterate person. My mother alone speaks. She alone knows everything. I don't do anything. Don't keep glorifying me. I'm not the one. It is her. So, drop the spiritual jargon. Keep your mind clean and empty. And keep performing whatever you need to perform. All your actions, keep performing without judging them. Because if you have performed actions through a calm mind, that's what Arjun did. Finally, his moha was gone and he said, now I'll fight. He fought. He killed many soldiers. He killed his own kith and kin. Does anyone in the history ever say, Arjun, you are such a bad person? He followed the divine will and he expressed. That's why Lord Krishna became the charioteer, right? He became the charioteer. He said, I'll guide you to the next Yodha that you need to kill. You just kill. You just do my work. This is not your work. So understand, for this to happen, Arjun's mind had to calm down. When Arjun's mind was completely empty, he performed the divine will. So don't try to understand, is this what mother wants? Mother, what do you want? Mother is not going to do an Akashvani and say, Bhavisha, now submit this report. She's not. Just whatever opens up in front of you, whatever you need to do, just do it. With a calm mind. Whenever you perform actions with a calm mind, you are expressing the divine will. To say that mother's expression is only in stotras and stutis is highest of conditioning. Mother expresses through everyone. If you actually listen to Rudra chanting, right, you will see the cobbler Shiva, I bow down to you. The hair cutter Shiva, I bow down to you. The Mali, the gardener Shiva, I bow down to you. All the occupations come into picture. He alone expresses. So to say that a cobbler, working on shoes is not expressing divine will because he's doing something so, lowly, is wrong. I'm reminded of a story. A devotee of Tirupati Venkatraman, right? He was a cobbler. Every day he would make a shoe, and then whatever leftover little bit of that shoe material would remain, he would collect. And then because he wanted to make shoes for the Lord. And then finally, after he had taken a sankalp that next 1 year, I will collect little bit and I want to make shoes for you. So he took that leftover material and he made a shoe. But it came out to only be one shoe because he was so poor, he could only collect enough to make one shoe. But he had made the sankalp, so with, extremely sad antakarn, completely drowned in grief, he took that one shoe and he went to Tirupati. When he went there, he saw there was another devotee, just a cobbler like him, who also made another shoe of the other leg. Finally, that pair was offered to Lord Venkatramana. So, the reason I told you this story is to tell you that Mother expresses through all our works. The mind differentiates and say, this is just household work. This is, I'm of no good use. Or this is just such a lowly work. What Swami is doing is the greatest work. No. Every work in the creation is equally divine. Something as immoral as we label is as killing is what Arjun did under the direction of divine will. And that was the highest, that's how they established dharma again in the society. So, lot of words for your small question, Bhavisha, but did I answer your question? Bhavisha, did you fall asleep? भविष्य नहीं हो रहा है, ठीक है. Anyone else? Anyone else has any question? See, which is why we in our self reflections we are doing engaging with life willfully and joyfully. Because the mind comes into picture and says, oh, I don't want to do this. As soon as you say, I don't want to do this, you have become that Arjun who doesn't want to fight. As you go about the day, whatever opens up in front of you, willfully engage and perform it. Of course, you have a choice not to perform certain things, of course. So either, all I'm trying to say is, don't escape what you need to do. And dharma is to perform whatever has been presented in front of you in your life, in your world, because that presentation is the flow of the river of life. So it's like, don't create a badha. Whatever comes, just flow with it and perform it. Learn to flow with the river of life. Don't continuously create opposition. So no more questions. So at that point, on that note, we'll call it done. Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.